I'm proud to tell you that this video is going to be brought to you by Gfuel, and by using my affiliate link in the pinned comment and in the description box, you'll not only be helping support the channel since it's a affiliate link. I do get a small commission for each sale that's made, so I don't get anything unless you guys purchase it. However, you'll also be able to get some really cool anime themed merchandise as well as energy tubs and different energy formulas. I personally use Gfuel a lot, and when it comes to anime, there's a plethora of different anime to choose from. Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, My Hero Academia, Mobile Suit Gundam, Attack on Titan, and so many other series are available on the website in the form of energy formulas packed with all the vitamins that you need and just enough caffeine to get you going for your day. Right now, Gfuel is running a 25th anniversary campaign for Neopets. Step into the magical world of Neopets and celebrate 25 years of adventure, friendship, and fun with Neopets' 25th anniversary Gfuel Golden Berry Energy Tub. You are not going to be disappointed in the flavor with this one. Absolutely worth every penny for it. I mean, come on, it's called the Great Golden Slushy. Scoutmaster Jigen definitely approves of this one. Which, most importantly, this cannot be understated. Unlike a lot of energy products that are out there, there is no crash and there is zero sugar. Two really huge selling points of why I personally support Gfuel. In typical anime fashion, I am going to need you guys to send me your energy by clicking the affiliate link in the description and in the pinned comment. And when you do so, make sure to use my promo code KAGE to get yourself a discount. Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys another Boruto 2 Blue Vortex discussion. Today I want to talk to you guys about why the reveal about Kawaki's altered power is a sign that there's something larger coming that is going to make the collective fan clubs of Baryon mode Naruto and Isshiki shudder and shake and be shook at the thought of what we're going to discuss, which is the very likely outcome that Kawaki is being put on a path to fully surpass Isshiki in power. Now, I know that's something that it tends to piss off fans of both characters because there's this notion to cling to the belief that power levels, they will stay the same and they will stay stagnant and there will never be a glass ceiling that gets broken through. But as you should come to expect with any long-running shonen, power levels that were previously established as being the peaks of the verse, they eventually get surpassed, especially when you start dropping breadcrumbs like how we've been getting them. So there are actually a few reasons why we should be looking at Kawaki, his pending power up, and saying surpassing Isshiki isn't just about to be on the table in the long run, but it is likely on the table right now as we speak, getting ready to be handed out, and why it doesn't break the narrative for Kawaki's character at all. In fact, it directly lines up with enhancing his character in a natural way that is completely in character for him. From the moment we saw Kashinkoji walk into the room to talk to Jigen before entering into that death battle with him, we got the warning that if Isshiki were to ever successfully place a karma seal back onto Kawaki, it will make Isshiki so strong that his power level, it was being described as being unstoppable. To fully appreciate the power that Kawaki's about to get access to, you have to look at how strong Isshiki was and understand the direct circumstances that affected Isshiki. So we saw glimpses of what this power looked like when we saw Jigen take down Naruto and Sasuke, bullying the two strongest ninja in the history of the ninja world, only to learn not only was he playing around with them, but Jigen couldn't even properly draw on Isshiki's power without damaging his own body. Even when you go with the argument that, hey, this Jigen, he was juiced up on Ten Toes chakra, when Naruto clashed with Isshiki inside of the Hidden Leaf Village, he comes to the same conclusion Kashinkoji did, which is that Isshiki was stronger than the Jigen that Naruto fought. Whereas Kashinkoji was fighting a Jigen who was barely at 10% of his power, and that was the only reason he could kill him. Naruto had previously fought Jigen who was juiced up on that Ten Toes chakra, large amounts of it at that, and he came to the same conclusion. This guy was even stronger than Jigen. The entire time Naruto and Sasuke fought Isshiki inside of Momoshiki's dimension that Boruto teleported them to, he wasn't trying, he was holding back like crazy. He kept his hands in his pockets and was casually dodging attacks while fighting. He didn't seem bothered by Naruto and Sasuke's coordinated efforts to land hits on him. He's casually summoning the chakra disruption cubes to exploit the weaknesses of Chidori, requiring the straight line speed, knowing that Sasuke either charges forward and gets crushed, or he teleports away using a Maniteiji Kara, which is what Sasuke did. In the blink of an eye, Isshiki in the manga version of the fight is shrinking Sasuke's sword. He's smacking him with the chakra rod with just enough force to keep Sasuke conscious. He's treating him like he's a surfboard. In the anime, he's shrinking Naruto's double Rasengan, dodging his taijutsu, casually smacking him around, and then shoving chakra rods into his body and kicking Naruto in the face with his dusty feet for good measure, after he places 7 whole chakra rods inside his body and then squashes him with the chakra disruption cubes. And then he has the nerve to turn and look at the camera and say next up, like he's waiting in line at the grocery store. This is after he made that annoyed face and kicked Naruto in the face with his dusty feet for good measure. He was barely using his power, yet he's toying around with Naruto and Sasuke. Amado described his power as being, quote, unstoppable, yet only a fraction of that power was even needed to bring the 2 strongest shinobi in history down to their knees and traumatize Boruto. No boy wants to see their all-powerful father beaten like a Cherokee drum, and to see their beloved hero and idol being put through a beating so bad that he finally understood what true hard times were. The only thing missing was Isshiki grabbing Sasuke's belt and whipping Sasuke with it and telling Sasuke to take it to Mama Sakura. If only a fraction of that power could do something like that, then what would Isshiki's raw and unfiltered power do for someone like Kawaki? Well, we got a glimpse of it in Kashin Koji's visions of all the possible futures he saw. And the timeline that actually occurred, Naruto used Baryon mode and was able for a time to overpower Isshiki, but the form ultimately weakened. It lost its bite a lot faster in the manga than the anime, because the anime made it look like it lasted longer, just like it did the 8th gate. Both of these power-ups are very short-lived. And Isshiki, he stopped Naruto out of this form, and he held the Hokage hostage like he's a Disney princess trapped inside of a tower in those classic Disney movies. In the other possible futures that Kashin Koji saw, the opposite happened. Isshiki outright killed Naruto while he was still in Baryon mode, which means there might have been another level of power that Isshiki could have dragged out, or a decision that could have been made that would have allowed him to kill Naruto prior to this. Isshiki did that damage, including outlasting Baryon mode Naruto in a battle, despite having a body that was literally dying because he was revived into a body that couldn't properly use its power, meaning Kawaki's body unable to properly stabilize the power and draw it out for longer periods of time. When we look at where the story is currently, we have been seeing the narrative established that this Jigen level of power, that is the floor. That's where the antagonists are going to start at. And because this is a battle shonen, they're going to start way higher than that. We saw it early on from how Damon and Ada both looked super unimpressed when Code got his limiters off, and then when Code fought Damon, Damon proceeded to say it appears as if White Karma Seal Code was stronger than Jigen, but Damon still mopped the floor with him. And then we learned that Damon at no point in part 1 ever used his full power, which makes that Code beatdown that much more menacing. We then learned via Kashin Koji that when Kawaki was given his Karma Seal back, that the power that he was able to draw upon, it wasn't even enough to be able to defeat Code. He was defeated in multiple possible futures very easily by Code. Granted, these are all younger versions of Kawaki who had just escaped the village after Omnipotence, but we were at least shown that there are levels to the power that was being introduced to when it came to Jigen tier characters. We have Boruto and Base making it very clear from as early as chapter 1 of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex that just in this base, he scaled significantly higher than Code, which by extension means he scaled significantly higher than Jigen. And even when he used the Uzuhiko, he wasn't using anywhere near full power. He was holding back because he was trying to keep Code alive so that he could go to the Ten Tails dimension and destroy the Ten Tails before Jura could be born. We saw Bug Shinju, Mamushi, put Boruto on more of a defensive and make him exert more effort and power than Code was ever able to get out of Boruto. And for the first time, we saw Boruto legitimately panicking. Every Shinju who Boruto encountered made Boruto use more effort than a fighter who is above Jigen. And in this latest chapter, we got further confirmation of the matter at hand. Ryu not only snatched Code out of his claw mark while Code was on guard, watching the whole conversation, aware that he was in enemy territory, and he still got held up by the throat like he was trash. None of the Shinju looked bothered by Code, even when he cut on the Karma Seal to attack Code. And Jura blew this man's arm off like it was nothing. And we had Ryu, despite watching Code use his full power in an attempt to kill Jura, Ryu still went, so when we get tired of this guy, I get permission to kill him, right? And Jura's like, hey, feel free to do so. They're not worried about Code. Jigen levels of power, they were, and they are, and they will continue to be treated like they are a joke. And given how easily all this stomping is going on, the discussion of some of these characters being relative to Isshiki, if not stronger than Isshiki, they need to start being had. They're dogging out Code a lot easier than a suppressed Daemon ever did. They would wipe the floor with Jigen by extension, which also means by extension the Naruto and Sasuke who got destroyed by Jigen, they would be crushed as well. I am not going to be shocked if we learn that Kawaki has a whole nother tier of power that he's not been able to fully tap into because of what Amado's done to his body, and it makes complete sense. Isshiki's power inside of Kawaki, it was supposed to be this nigh unstoppable force. Yet Kawaki has been made to look like an even bigger joke than Code's been made to look like. It's because that full tank of power is still being restricted. And for someone like Kawaki, who narratively already has a high ceiling established in terms of his potential, particularly using Isshiki's power, it makes sense that we're going down this route, especially given how strong these threats are appearing to be, and they are going to continue to evolve. In shonen, your characters who have these high potentials, they usually reach them at record-breaking speed. It's no different than Ichigo catching people who train for thousands of years because his potential is that high. The same with his comrades. For Kawaki, he is the antithesis of Boruto. They both have high potential. That's been established since early part 1. Yet one values the shinobi method of hard work and the other abhors the shinobi method of gaining power because it takes too long to gain strength as a shinobi. Not when there's a faster method that Kawaki's used to going down. He looks for the fastest way possible to get power, the same way that Boruto did before Naruto and Sasuke could correct his bad habits. Getting those restrictions removed, it should lead to a much larger buff in power, one that Boruto flat out says he's going to need if they're going to stand a chance against Jura. And many of those fighters who are at that above Jigen tier of power that we're seeing, it's not going to be hundreds, but we know that their numbers are going to increase. Look at what the narrative has shown us so far. Full power Code is above Jigen. Jura, Ryu, and all the Shinju, they made Code look like a peon. Jura was super nonchalant when he's reacting to White Karma Seal Code. None of the characters, including Boruto, used any real effort against Code, despite Code using Karma in those fights. It was all done with varying degrees of ease. Depending on the character, it was a lot easier. The gap between Code and Isshiki, yes, it is huge, but it is not this insurmountable gap that can't be crossed by anyone that people are trying to make it seem like, because there's this notion that we must keep Naruto and Isshiki in a tier by themselves and no one shall ever surpass them. Battle shonen do not work that way. And given how easily multiple characters have dogged out a Jigen plus level of power, there's something there for the discussion, particularly with Jura, who is the strongest out of all of the Shinju. There's a pretty damn good chance Kawaki gains more power than Isshiki, who fought Baryon mode Naruto and was limited by a failing body, and it lines up with Kawaki's tendency to rely on Karma and Ninja Tech as shortcuts, and to contrast him to Boruto, who now relies on the value of hard work that was instilled in him by Naruto, Sasuke, and Kashin Koji. Yes, Koji used 10 directions to train Boruto, but Boruto still had to do the work to train. There's something to said for Kawaki going to Amado and unlocking that monster boost in strength so rapidly to catch and potentially surpass Boruto. It fits into the technology aspect of Boruto's story. Amado is basically that video game developer who makes a video game and then releases patches after the game is out to correct imbalances or to add DLC to give you new features and stuff. But in this case, instead of it being patches that fix the imbalanced gameplay where you had some characters that were too strong, this is something that's going to make Kawaki even more over the top broken than we had previously seen him. Just to say, Katasuke made Boruto's video game character in the Momoshiki arc super overpowered. It's a really nice parallel full circle moment. So allow me to explain what I mean by that. So Boruto is marching towards facing someone in Kawaki who got their power by cheating, and Boruto is now on the opposite side of that. He cheated when playing the games with Inojin and Shikadai, and he is now doing what Inojin and Shikadai told Boruto when they refused to play with him. They said they were going to work hard to get strong enough to win without cheating like Boruto did. Kawaki is making Boruto relive some of the lessons Boruto's already learned, and it's by extension showing Boruto's character growth. While this isn't technically cheating, since this is power that is inside of Kawaki, by that logic, we say that Naruto cheated because he was using Kurama's power. That's not the case. It's inside of him, so it is a part of him. And the narrative, it has been setting up these Jigen plus levels of power as being a floor and showcasing brand new villains making a mockery of that power to spoon feed it to us that Isshiki and Baryon Naruto, yeah, they were the top dogs at the end of Boruto Part 1, but we're in Part 2. They're going to get surpassed. It's still going to be a rapid jump, and it makes their dynamic almost as interesting as this anime explain video on the left from my other YouTube channel, or over here on the right, we have the newest Naruto explain video. And remember, the chapter review will be out on the 20th most likely, so my full thoughts on the chapter will be out around then. The chapter reviews somewhere in the ballpark of 25 minutes, so it's lengthy for my standards. We could have gone a little bit further, but we're staying budget conscious on the reviews.